A day in the life of a functioning alcoholic. If you think work is stressful now and you're having a drink, you enjoy a drink, just wait until it catches up with you. Because heavy alcohol use will weave its way into every fibre of your body and your mind in your life. Now, I'm going to do one day here. I worked in central London in law enforcement, but we worked shifts. After a lot of the shifts we used to drink. I'm going to go through a typical 10 a.m, 6 p.m. shift with you, okay, and how my day began. As time went on, I became increasingly anxious about public transport, and the underground started to worry me. Just couldn't travel on it. I didn't want to drive because it's a nightmare parking in central London, and also I wanted to have a drink, so I didn't take the car. So there's various options really to try and brave it out in the underground, or sometimes I used to get a bus in which would take 2 hours. So I'll just stick to the underground way at the moment. So at 10 a.m. start, I used to wake up in the middle of the night, worried sick. I didn't sleep properly. And I'd wake up 6, get up by 7 o'clock, 3 hours before I needed to start. Get to the underground station very, very early and have a bit of a sweat on, slight shakes maybe. This is in the latter days, obviously. Feeling very, very, very uneasy, detached, especially if I had a few days on the drink and I was going back, you know. Thinking, God, I've got a whole day of not having a drink. So I'm anxious on the underground station. Epping was an overground station, if that makes sense. Light and airy, so get on the underground. Go through East London, as it gets busier and busier, get more anxious. Eventually get to Oxford Circus. Crowds of people, obviously, because I'm going in for 10 to 6, remember. About 9 o'clock, rush hour, it's madness, isn't it? So I walk down Regent Street, turn right. Still feeling a bit, not myself. And maybe 10 o'clock, go to a meeting or something, just sit, try and focus on having a cup of coffee, but sometimes I could hardly hold a cup. I think that's 11 o'clock now. I'm still sweating, not feeling very well, probably looking a bit pale, become paranoid, everyone looking at me, you know, all this sort of thing. 12 o'clock comes on, everyone goes for lunch. And I just sit there with a glass of water, I think, God, another 6 hours of this. And just feeling more and more down and more tired, and you know, people around me laughing and joking, and they'll be fresh. Not all of them, because a lot of us used to drink. You could tell the drinkers straight away. Sit there and maybe do something in the afternoon, go for a walk about, and try and do something, because it was like a training day sort of thing, you know, 10 to 6 days. Get about 3 o'clock, feeling really edgy now. I think, gosh, another 3 hours yet. And eventually it would come to 5 o'clock, half 5, and maybe go in the locker room, get changed. As soon as I got changed, I had my civilian clothes, I felt slightly better. Only slightly better, mate. And then I would manage to walk my way across Regent Street to a pub called the Red Lion, actually. I'd be so relieved to get in there just after 6 o'clock. So relieved to sit on the stool, and the guy knew what I wanted. A pint of Iyengar Brower Lager, about 4.5%. Or sometimes I used to have pills. It's about 5.9, 6%, something like that. And I get one down, I think, still feel a bit rough. And then have another one. I feel a little bit better. I had nothing to eat at this point. So I'd been awake most of the night, and no breakfast, no lunch, still wasn't hungry. And we didn't have mobile phones then. I used to send a message to my wife on the pages, so I'm back by 8, 9 o'clock. Next to a friend, very heavy drunk, called John the Print. That was his nickname. He used to come in, and there was 2 of us now, in a little gang. Then also the mate who was general manager at Burberry's. I'm using false names, obviously. And another chap who was also a printer. Don't know why printers are big drinkers. He used to come in on his push bike, but he always used to have some sort of injury the next day, because he cycled home, you see. after having a lot to drink. So 8 o'clock would come, a few more getting around, you see. There's 4 of us in this round, put 20 quid in the whip. 9, 10 would come around, had a few more, had a massive tolerance to it. And I'm thinking, oh God, I'm going to get right bollocking when I get home. Because my wife was, I would say, looking back and laughing about it, strict. She didn't like drinkers. I don't know why we got married, to be honest. So I feel really, really sort of, God, I better get the underground. Eventually I got the last one. I used to have a bit of paper with the times for the last underground train, east. Sort of run basically to try and get the 11:24 p.m. to get me back to Epping about 1:45. And then I'd walk up the hill. There was no taxis by that point at the station. Walk through the forest, and then I'd let myself in quietly, but obviously she knew I was back. The dog would be there. So I'd go in the garage. I had a little hidden sort of stock of beer in the garage. I used to drink that Star of Pramen, quite strong though, so I put about 3 or 4 bottles of that in my jacket pockets, and get the dogs lead and take them over to the forest. And I always had on my key ring a bottle opener, obviously, and I used to crack a bottle open, drink it as quick as I could, and then do the same with the other 3 or 4. Make sure you had a good walk or run around the forest, go back home, maybe 1:30, and then I would think, well, I've got to have a bit of relax now. Can't just switch off. You're always rewarding yourself, aren't you? Because you think, I need another drink. I had a long day. You hadn't had a long day. This had a short day, really, for normal people. Because you're an alcoholic, it's a long, long day, isn't it? But by this time, you're feeling quite good. You know, you're going to be the second wind, really, have a few more drinks, and then it all starts again. And then maybe be on a late turn next day. It didn't have to start at 2:30. So then you think, oh, let's just sit up for a while, sit 4 o'clock. Maybe make you fancy something to eat then. Some cheese on toast, something like that. There's not very much food really. Just rubbish. I was eating snacks, crisp nuts. Go to bed, try and get some sleep. She would be out at 7, get disturbed. The dog would be awake, let him out, go back to bed, try and get some sleep between sort of 8 and 10. And I couldn't sleep properly, sweating, toss and turning, feeling completely wrecked from the night before. And then I think, oh, it's another long shift, half 2, half 10. So I'd get myself ready, try and get a shower, brush my teeth, usual things. I still was like feeling like, ugh, just meh, if that makes sense. Rough and just can't be bothered with life. That's how it gets you. So then I'd get myself down to the underground station again, get anxious again about that. It was a terrible cycle of torture and long days of, when am I going to get my next drink? When is this going to end? When can I get the pub? That's all you think about. Nothing else. And then a few years after I retired, and then got divorced, and then it went into more dangerous drinking level, really. It was always been dangerous, but it just got more and more focused on the pub and the alcohol, and then I got seriously ill. And what I'm trying to say is there such a thing as a functional alcoholic? I functioned pretty well, I thought, most of the time. But looking back now, sober, I'd have functioned at a much, much higher level than I did. Even if you're just having a few drinks, you'll not perform at the same level as somebody sober. So you've got to really cut it out. You know, most of the people watching this, I hope, will still be not the stage I was, and still there'll be hope there for them. There'll be moderate drinkers maybe who can cut down, maybe not alcohol dependent, because it will creep up on you and it will ruin your life. It's as simple as that. If you are enjoying the content, then please subscribe. And if you want me to cover any particular subjects, then just drop me a line in the comments box, and I'll speak to you all soon. And keep sober.